Time binds us, shapes our reality, and dictates our actions, yet its true nature remains elusive. The world we live in is governed by this invisible force, yet we've been taught to accept its limits. What if the very concept we rely on is not what we think it is? Time is an illusion. Introduction. In a world where we often find ourselves entrapped by the constant ticking of the clock, have you ever wondered if time is truly the rigid force we've been led to believe? Is time as we know it real, or could it be an illusion, something created by our minds to make sense of the chaos around us? When we think about time, we envision it as a line stretching from the past to the future. Our lives, too, seem to follow this linear progression, with moments slipping away one after the other. But what if this perception of time is merely a construct, an illusion that binds us to a way of thinking that limits our true potential? Throughout history, many have questioned this very notion of time, considering it not as a constant, but as a fluid and dynamic force. It challenges the very fabric of how we live our lives, forcing us to confront the idea that what we experience as time might not exist at all. In fact, some of the most profound thinkers and spiritual leaders have suggested that time, in its most fundamental sense, is nothing more than a mind-made illusion, a myth we've created to understand and navigate our existence. So, what if the real truth about time is far more mystical and mysterious than we could ever imagine? What if, by letting go of our attachment to time, we could unlock a deeper understanding of the universe, and with it, our own place in it? This journey invites you to break free from the myth of time and explore a reality where time does not rule us, but rather we can rule time. Welcome to a new perspective on existence, where everything you thought you knew about time is turned on its head. Are you ready to break free from the illusion of time and unlock your true potential? If so, type "I am ready" in the comments and begin your journey into a new reality. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to join our community of like-minded souls as we embark on this transformative path together. 1. The nature of universal laws and time. Universal laws exist beyond the constraints of time, operating as fundamental principles that govern all aspects of existence. Unlike time, which appears to move forward in a linear fashion, these laws remain unchanging. They do not follow a sequence of past, present, and future. Rather, they function in an eternal state of being. Time is a tool created for human perception, a way to measure and organize experiences, but it does not dictate the truth of reality. Universal laws exist outside of this artificial framework, unaffected by the ticking of a clock or the turning of a calendar. They are not bound by yesterday or tomorrow. They simply are constant and absolute. The perception of time is deeply tied to human experience, but it is not an objective force that dictates reality. People often feel that time moves quickly when they are engaged in something joyful and drags when they are in discomfort, proving that time is not a fixed entity, but a subjective experience shaped by awareness. Universal laws, on the other hand, do not shift based on perception. They remain stable whether one is aware of them or not. This contrast between the fluidity of time and the immovability of universal laws highlights the illusion. While time feels real, it is not a fundamental force, but rather a lens through which humans view reality. Because time appears to move forward, many believe it is responsible for change. But change itself is not a product of time. It is the result of deeper principles at work. Time is merely the backdrop against which transformation is perceived, yet it has no power of its own. Universal laws dictate how existence unfolds, not the passage of hours or years. The belief in time as a force leads people to assume that they are limited by it, creating unnecessary constraints. They measure progress through aging, setting deadlines for success, and fearing the approach of an imagined endpoint. These are self-imposed restrictions based on the illusion that time holds power over reality. In truth, the laws that govern existence are far greater than any schedule or chronological framework. Once the illusion of time is recognized, a deeper understanding of reality emerges. Time does not control destiny, nor does it determine when something is possible. Universal laws are always in operation, unrestricted by the boundaries of minutes and hours. By aligning with these laws, one can move beyond the fear of running out of time or being held back by the past. Reality is shaped by principles that do not bend to the artificial flow of time, meaning that the present moment is the only true reality. The belief that time is a controlling force dissolves, and what remains is an awareness of the infinite nature of existence. The universal laws function with or without human awareness, offering a path to understanding that is not limited by clocks or calendars. They are the foundation upon which reality is built, standing beyond the illusion of time itself. 2. The law of cause and effect in the context of time. The law of cause and effect operates beyond the limits of time, functioning as an unchanging principle that governs all experiences. While humans perceive events as happening in a sequence, one action leading to another in a forward-moving timeline, this is only a limited way of understanding reality. In truth, causes and their effects do not unfold in a straight line, nor do they require time to pass in order to manifest. Every action, thought, and intention creates an effect, but the way that effect appears does not follow a strict past, present, future structure. Effects can be immediate, delayed, or even seemingly disconnected from their original cause, but this is only because the human mind expects things to happen within a measured framework. The reality is that consequences exist outside of time, forming part of an interconnected field of energy where everything influences everything else. The present moment is a direct result of past causes, but these causes do not exist in a separate, distant past. They are active forces that have shaped the now, yet they do not follow a linear movement through time. Some effects appear instantly, while others seem to unfold over weeks, years, or even lifetimes. However, the idea of waiting for a result is based on an illusion. Time does not determine when an effect will take shape. What truly matters is the strength and nature of the energy behind the cause. A single powerful action can bring rapid transformation, while a weak or unfocused cause may take longer to materialize its effect. This is why people sometimes feel that certain things happen out of nowhere, while others seem delayed beyond expectation. The reality is that nothing is random. Effects are simply appearing in alignment with the energy that created them, not according to a timeline. Actions and thoughts do not just create effects in a straightforward, predictable way. A single cause can ripple across dimensions, creating multiple results in different places or at different points of awareness. One decision can trigger consequences far beyond what the mind can perceive, reaching into unseen layers of existence. A word spoken to someone may not seem significant in the moment, but it could shift their entire path in ways never anticipated. Similarly, an intention set with Deep focus may generate effects that do not immediately appear in one's personal reality, but may be influencing something beyond current perception. This is why trying to measure cause and effect through time is misleading. Effects do not appear according to human expectations, but rather in alignment with the energy of the cause itself. By understanding that cause and effect function independently of time, it becomes clear that the power behind any action or intention does not rely on waiting for the right moment. The moment something is set into motion, its effect already exists in potential form, waiting only for the conditions to align for it to be recognized. Reality is shaped by energy, not by the ticking of a clock, and every cause brings its effect without being confined to time's illusion. 3. The law of rhythm and the illusion of time. Time is not a straight road leading from a beginning to an end. Instead, it moves in cycles, repeating patterns that govern everything in existence. The rising and setting of the sun, the phases of the moon, the shifting seasons, and even the flow of human life all follow rhythmic motions rather than a linear march forward. These cycles are the true nature of time. Yet the illusion of time as a straight path creates the false belief that once something is lost, it is gone forever, or that the future is an unknown place separate from the past. In reality, life unfolds in loops, and what seems to disappear often returns in a different form. Every ending carries the potential for renewal, and every downturn is part of a larger rhythm that leads back to expansion. The way people experience time is deeply influenced by these cycles. Time does not always feel the same. Some moments seem to stretch endlessly, while others pass in the blink of an eye. This is because human life is not moving in a rigid line, but flowing through waves of change. There are periods of growth and stillness, times of challenge and ease, moments of clarity and uncertainty, all forming patterns that repeat on different levels. This is why it often feels like certain situations keep reappearing, not as an exact repetition, but as part of a recurring rhythm. Understanding this natural rhythm removes the fear of the future because it reveals that life is not an unpredictable journey toward an unknown destination, but a process of continuous unfolding, with each phase leading into the next in a harmonious way. Many ancient and modern spiritual traditions have recognized this looping nature of time. They describe existence not as a straight race toward an end, but as a repeating motion, much like the turning of a great wheel. Civilizations rise and fall. Personal transformations happen in cycles, and even the universe itself follows grand rhythms beyond human perception. This is not mere repetition, but an ever-expanding pattern where each cycle brings deeper understanding and new possibilities. The past is not something permanently left behind, and the future is not something completely separate from now. Instead, they are interconnected parts of the same rhythm, just as waves in the ocean are connected to the movement of the tides. This rhythm applies not just to large cosmic cycles, but also to personal experiences. The fear of losing something, whether it be time, opportunities, or even personal connections, comes from the false belief in a straight one-way timeline. In truth, nothing is ever truly lost. It simply moves through different stages and can reappear in new ways. Even when something seems to be gone forever, its energy remains within the cycles of life, waiting to return in a different form. Understanding this rhythm allows one to see beyond temporary setbacks and recognize that every downturn is followed by an upswing. Life does not move in a straight line toward an end. It flows in patterns, constantly renewing itself. 4. The law of attraction and the timelessness of creation. Manifestation does not rely on time. It is a direct reflection of energy alignment. The belief that something takes time to manifest is part of the illusion that creation happens in a linear way. In truth, what is desired already exists the moment it is conceived in thought. The only reason it seems to take time is because the mind perceives a gap between wanting something and experiencing it. But this gap is not caused by time. It is caused by the level of alignment between the present state of being and the desired outcome. The moment alignment is reached, manifestation occurs. Regardless of how much time appears to pass, the process is energetic, not chronological. Everything that is thought of already exists in an energetic state. Just because something has not yet been seen with physical eyes does not mean it is not real. The human mind is conditioned to believe that reality unfolds step by step, that things must be earned over time, and that patience is required for manifestation. However, the universe does not operate through waiting. It operates through resonance. If a person believes they must wait, they create the experience of waiting. If they believe that what they desire is already theirs, they step into the reality where it is true. The delay in manifestation is not because time must pass, but because energy must align. The universe always responds to the present version of a person. It does not grant desires based on past struggles or future hopes. It mirrors the energy being projected now. If someone feels abundant now, abundance is reflected. If someone feels lack, they remain in lack, no matter how much time passes. This is why time is irrelevant in manifestation. The present moment holds the full creative power, and whatever is embodied now becomes reality. Thinking about the future as separate from the now only creates more distance. But in truth, the future is only an extension of the energy already existing in the present moment. The speed of manifestation is not controlled by time, but by belief. When a person believes something must take a long time, they create that experience. When they believe something can happen instantly, the universe has no resistance to overcome. The ones who manifest the fastest are those who do not measure progress by time, but by alignment. Manifestation does not require effort in the way people assume. It only requires dropping the belief that time is a barrier. The moment something is fully accepted as already real, it appears effortlessly, not because time has passed, but because energy has shifted. Mastering manifestation is about releasing the idea that things happen in time and embracing the truth that they happen in accordance with energy. The universe does not delay anything. Only the mind creates delay by believing in waiting. The moment time is no longer seen as a factor. Creation becomes instantaneous. What is sought is already here, existing beyond the illusion of time. 5. The law of polarity and time's dual nature. Time appears real because of polarity. Without the contrast of opposites, time would have no meaning. The experience of past and future is only possible because the mind perceives them as separate points, but in truth they are part of a single continuous reality. If there were no distinction between what was and what will be, time would collapse into a single eternal moment. It is only the awareness of contrast, before and after, fast and slow, new and old, that creates the illusion of time moving in a direction. This duality makes time feel like a force pulling life forward, but in reality, time itself is neither pulling nor pushing. It is simply a mental framework built on perception. The more one tries to move quickly through time, the more it seems to resist. Rushing toward the future only creates the sensation of being stuck in the present, while attempting to hold on to the past makes time feel like it is slipping away even faster. This contradiction reveals that time is not a straight path, but a perception shaped by opposing forces. Stillness and movement appear to be separate, yet they exist together in every moment. A person sitting in silence may feel time moving slowly, while someone in a state of excitement may feel time rushing forward. Yet nothing external has changed. Time bends based on perception, proving it is not an absolute force, but a result of the polarities of experience. Aging is another illusion created by polarity. The transition from youth to old age feels like movement through time, but it is simply the shifting balance of two opposing states. What is seen as growing older is merely the mind interpreting change in a linear way, when in truth the energy of youth and the energy of age coexist. A child does not suddenly gain time, nor does an elder lose time. They simply embody different expressions of the same energy. If time were truly linear, aging would be an absolute, unstoppable force, but countless examples show that time can be stretched or compressed based on one's state of being. Ultimately, past and future are not separate places. They are reflections of each other, two sides of the same eternal now. The mind creates contrast between what has been and what is coming, but these are just two expressions of the same moment seen from different perspectives. The future is not waiting ahead, nor is the past left behind. They both exist within the now, just as night and day exist within the same cycle. Understanding this removes the illusion of time as something to be controlled or feared. Time does not push life forward. It simply mirrors the duality of perception. When the mind no longer clings to one pole or the other, the illusion of time fades, revealing the ever-present reality beneath it. 6. The law of vibration and the frequency of time. Time is not a fixed external force. It is a perception shaped by vibration. The way time is experienced is directly tied to frequency. When vibration is high, time appears to move quickly. When vibration is low, time stretches and slows. This is why moments of joy, love, or excitement seem to pass in an instant, while moments of sadness, fear, or boredom feel endless. The sensation of time, speeding up or slowing down, is not caused by external events, but by the frequency of energy being experienced. Time does not exist as a rigid measurement outside of perception. It is fluid, bending, and shifting in response to vibrational states. A person fully immersed in an experience often loses track of time because their vibration is high, making time feel weightless. On the other hand, a person trapped in a low vibrational state feels every second drag, as if time is moving against them. The illusion that time moves at a steady pace is only maintained by collective agreement, but in reality, each individual experiences time differently depending on their vibrational state. This effect becomes even clearer in altered states of consciousness. Meditation, deep focus, or moments of creative flow can make time vanish entirely. When the mind is deeply engaged, there is no sense of past or future. Only the present moment exists. This occurs because raising vibration shifts perception beyond time, revealing that time is not an absolute force, but a product of awareness. People who reach heightened states of consciousness often describe time as feeling suspended or non-existent, proving that time is linked to vibration rather than being a universal constant. Even within daily life, fluctuations in vibration create shifts in time perception. A stressful situation can make minutes feel like hours, while a state of inspiration can make hours feel like minutes. This demonstrates that time is not something outside of us. It is a reflection of our energetic state. By recognizing this, one can begin to see that time is not something to be controlled, but something that responds naturally to inner frequency. Mastering vibration allows for a different experience of time. The higher the vibration, the more fluid and effortless time feels. The lower the vibration, the heavier and slower time appears. Time is not an external force dictating experience. It is an inner experience shaped by the energy one holds. Understanding this reveals that time does not control life. Rather, it is life's vibration that controls time. 7. The law of correspondence and the timeless nature of the universe. Time is not a universal constant. It is relative to the scale at which it is experienced. A human lifetime may feel long to an individual, but from the perspective of a galaxy, it is nothing more than a passing instant. This contrast reveals that time is not an objective reality, but a perception shaped by the level of existence one is attuned to. The experience of time differs for every form of life, every system, and every scale of reality. What seems slow on one level may be instantaneous on another, showing that time is flexible and not an absolute measure. At the microscopic level, particles vibrate and shift at speeds beyond human comprehension. A single moment for a subatomic particle could equate to centuries in human time. On the opposite end of the scale, celestial bodies follow cycles so vast that human history is only a brief flicker in their existence. This proves that time is not a fixed experience, but changes depending on the frame of reference. It exists differently for every being, every plane of reality, and every dimension of consciousness. What feels like a long journey for one may be a fleeting moment for another, reinforcing the idea that time is not an external force, but a subjective perception. Human perception of time is deeply tied to the physical senses and the mind's ability to process information. The more closely one is bound to the physical world, the more real time seems. But as awareness expands beyond personal existence, the illusion of time begins to dissolve. When observing nature, one can see how time operates at different speeds. Trees stand for centuries, animals live in rapid cycles, and planets move in orbits spanning thousands of years. Every layer of existence experiences time differently, yet they all exist within the same grand design. This suggests that time is only relevant at certain levels of awareness, and that beyond human perception, it has no true meaning. Cosmic patterns reveal that time does not govern existence. Existence governs time. The universe does not count seconds, minutes, or years. It flows in harmony with greater rhythms beyond human measurement. What may seem like slow progress on one level may already be completed on another. By looking beyond personal experience and into the greater cosmos, one can see that time is simply a construct shaped by the mind. It is not a force that controls reality, but a tool for interpreting experience within a limited frame of awareness. Breaking free from time means recognizing that it only exists as long as one remains bound to a particular perception. The higher the consciousness, the less relevant time becomes. From a universal perspective, there is no past or future, only an eternal unfolding of existence. Time does not dictate reality. It is a byproduct of perspective. When awareness expands beyond the personal level, time loses its hold, revealing the timeless nature of the universe. 8. The law of divine timing and the illusion of control. The idea of divine timing reveals that events do not unfold because of human schedules or deadlines, but because of alignment. When something is meant to happen, it does, not because time has passed, but because the necessary conditions have come together. People often try to control time, believing that if they push hard enough or plan well enough, they can force outcomes to happen on their terms. But this creates struggle, as life does not respond to rigid expectations. The more one tries to force timing, the more resistance is created, leading to frustration and delay. Divine timing does not operate on human perception of soon or late. It is not about waiting, nor is it about forcing things to happen. It is about flow. Events aligning naturally when the right energy is in place. Many people experience disappointment when things do not happen on their preferred timeline, believing they have failed or missed an opportunity. But this belief is an illusion rooted in the false idea that time dictates results. In truth, nothing is ever truly too late or too early. It only appears that way because of attachment to artificial timelines. When one surrenders the need to control time, they begin to see that everything is unfolding exactly when it is meant to. The illusion of control over time is one of the greatest sources of human suffering. People stress over deadlines, regret the past, or fear the future, believing they must force life to happen in a certain way. But life is not bound by these mental constructs. Trying to rush something that is not yet aligned only leads to frustration, just as trying to hold on to something that has already completed its purpose leads to suffering. The more one clings to control, the more chaotic time appears to be. But when one lets go and trusts the unfolding of life, time loses its power over them. This is why some things seem to happen effortlessly, while others seem impossible no matter how much effort is put in. It is not about working harder or being more strategic. It is about being in the right state of receptivity. Opportunities, relationships, and breakthroughs appear when they are in harmony with the larger flow, not when they are forced into existence. When alignment is present, no effort is needed. When it is not, all the effort in the world will not make a difference. This is the essence of divine timing. Things happen not because of time passing, but because the energy is ready for them to unfold. Understanding divine timing dissolves the fear of missing out or being left behind. There is no race, no countdown, no need to rush. Everything is always unfolding in perfect order, even when it seems otherwise. The moment something is meant to appear, it does, without struggle, without resistance. When one trusts in this, life becomes effortless, and time itself ceases to feel like an obstacle. If this knowledge has shifted your understanding, then it's already happening. Your mind is expanding beyond time. If you share it, someone else will experience the same awakening. And if you subscribe, you'll align yourself with more timeless wisdom, unfolding exactly when you need it.